So I recently just got back from a very, very good trip that I went on that I really enjoyed. And it was me and my friends. We decided to go take a trip to Niagara for a weekend. It was a very good time. Yesterday, if you haven't watched it yet, we made a podcast actually while we were on the trip. We made a podcast and I officially posted it yesterday. And I think it turned out pretty well. I made a bunch of edits. I spent a lot of time working on it. And I think it was funny. I think we talked about a lot of funny stuff, some deep stuff, some controversial stuff, just plain stupid stuff because a couple of them were high, so they were kind of fried a little bit, said just some dumb things. It was a very fun podcast, and if you haven't watched it yet, I encourage you to go and check it out because it was very, very good. And I think always whenever I make a podcast with a guest or even like this is the first group podcast, it's good stuff usually. Like I don't ever look at it and say, oh, it was kind of not very good. No, I actually think it came out pretty well, and yeah, first group podcast that we've done on this show. Maybe we'll do more in the future. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed it, we definitely will try and make a few other group podcasts happen in the future. But yeah, I got some of these guys on. I wanted to have these guys on from the start of the show, so finally we got them on. Finally, we made it happen. And it was kind of like a light thing we were talking about. Hey, like just bring your podcast setup just in case. And we ended up recording it. It ended up being great. Like in this episode, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the vacation, kind of as like a little time capsule type of thing, similar to how that episode will be a time capsule for all of us, because of course it's us in that Airbnb that we were staying at, and it kind of will kind of rekindle some of the memories if we look back on it in years from now. But this episode as well will kind of be me just talking about the trip itself, like and kind of the things we did on the trip, telling a couple of the fun stories that happened on this trip. So that's gonna be today's episode. I'm gonna be talking about our trip to Niagara. So how it happened basically was just we were literally like in the gym one day. Like I had just finished like a month ago. Like I had just finished basically my job. I had just quit. I just left, and I was like, hey, like I got a bunch of money saved up. Let's try and do some stuff this summer, right? And we were kind of theory crafting. We were like, how about Niagara? Niagara's a good short thing, right? We live in Toronto. It really wasn't that far. Like it took us like an hour to get there. Like it was pretty close by. And yeah, eventually we decided, yeah, let's do it, right? And basically we booked the Airbnb, and we basically set the date, and we were like, let's go, we're doing this. And we only had four of us, so it was only me and three other guys, because we were supposed to have maybe five or six people, and maybe someone was supposed to come on the Saturday, but it ended up not happening. It's all good. Us four had a great time. Obviously, it would have been much better, much nicer with more people. It ended up only being us four, because like the secret of my friend group is a lot of them don't really want to leave their house, and that's a problem sometimes. I think some of them actually had some actual legit reasons. Like one person had like some family thing that came up. Another person had just started a new job and he was working on Saturdays. But a couple of them definitely didn't have, I would say, like real excuses. But they, other than the fact that they just didn't want to come. Listen, it is what it is. I'm not chastising them for it. So we had a good time, just us four. We had an Airbnb. The Airbnb was big. It was a freaking house, right? It's a house. Like we could have easily had six of us in that thing, and it would have been perfectly fine. We bought some food, and we had breakfasts, two breakfasts just built for kings: eggs and sausage, bread and bananas, dude. Like just literally like the king breakfast. It was some good stuff, right? We did our own cooking, and I made some of the best omelets I've ever made in my whole life because I finally figured out how you're actually supposed to do it, and it was good. We had a great breakfast both days, and essentially like over the 2 days I only got like 8 hours of sleep. Like the 2 days I slept like 4 hours a night basically because we were up super super late because we were doing a bunch of things. The Friday we were actually supposed to get there a little earlier, but someone else had work. He also just started a new job, so we only left Toronto at about like 7, maybe 7:30, and we left. I gunned it over there, and we got there in like an hour basically, and it was funny. And then we accidentally went to the American border too because we missed our exit. It was like the last exit on the highway before the border, and we missed the exit because my friend, as I'm getting past the exit, he says get off, but I'm already past the exit. I can't get off. So we went to the border. That was funny. Like the border patrol person gave us a lot of stick for it. Like she was actually kind of a little bit rude considering like we're just a bunch of dudes who just made a mistake, and then we had to pay the toll, which was like again super funny. But eventually we made it back. We got to the Airbnb, took our stuff out, and we went in, saw the city, kind of dipped our toes in a little bit. We walked across the falls at night, which is like Niagara Falls at night. Like the falls have this like crazy light show. It was super cool. I've never actually seen it before. It's like you go to the falls, it's like, oh, it's always the same, right? Actually, no. It's like that was actually like a new experience. It's like, wow, like that's I didn't even know that they had that, right? So that was pretty freaking cool just on the Friday, and we did like one or two things. We had Boston pizza. It was very, very, very good food, and for like that was probably like the best food we had on the trip. I'm gonna be honest, the Boston pizza, which is pretty funny, but I think the rest of us would actually, like, the rest of my friends that were there would agree with that take, that the Boston pizza was the best food that we had on the trip. And and then we did one or two things. Then we went back to the place. It was like 1 a.m. because we got there so late. Like it was 1 a.m. by the time we walked the falls, and we did one or two little things on the main strip. We went back and it was like 1 a.m. And then we were like, hey, let's record the podcast. So we waited for my phone to charge a little bit, and then we just did the podcast. And like these guys took some edibles, and they were high, like two of them out of the four of us. Like obviously I'm not going to be the guy to get high, because obviously that's not my thing. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, because not only because of my Christian values, because also I know just how bad it is for you. But they do it because they enjoyed it, and it was funny just kind of seeing them be a little bit fried and see how they were slowly deteriorating, the two of them. And then me and the other guy, we didn't do anything. So then we had the podcast, and that's kind of how it looked like for the podcast. And we actually like really had to grind through. Like maybe the final 10 minutes or so was a little like there was a lot less energy, because it was approaching 4 a.m. at that point. Like we started the recording around like 2, and we had to make a lot of pauses because the phone kept falling off of the tripod, because obviously as you're passing the mic around, like a couple guys sometimes would just pull it a little too much, and then so we'd have to make a bunch of edits. We'd have to pause and stop a little bit. We had to stop to let my phone charge a little bit. And then I looked, and I'm like, hey, we only recorded for 45 minutes, guys. We got to do a little bit more. And then that final little part we had to really push through. So it was like a little bit, it gets a little bit kind of tiring at the end. Still good. Like I think it was still good stuff. Like we even did like a little faith piece, talked about our faith a little bit in the end, which, as a part of this show being very God centered, God focused, I think that was also a very good touch to add in the end of that episode. But we recorded it. We were done at like 4 a.m. basically, and then we went up. I went up, took a very quick shower, and went to bed. And we woke up at 9. So like, yeah, 4 or 5 hours of sleep basically. And yeah, because we wanted to get into the day quick, right? Because we didn't want to sleep in. We wanted to do the events that we had planned for the day, right? So we woke up, had our king breakfast. It was a super sunny day. It was actually like the Saturday was the day that we did all of our fun stuff. It was the perfect day, man. It was so sunny, hot. It couldn't have been a better day for a day trip, just doing a bunch of fun things that are outside, right? Amazing, right? So we started with the water park. We went to Fallsview Water Park. I bought some tickets for the group, and we had a great time. Like they actually genuinely enjoyed it. Like a couple of them were a little bit skeptical. They were like, water park. But once we got on the slides, we enjoyed it, and I think everyone really had fun. And then we played basketball in the outside pool area. We had a fun little basketball game as well. Everyone had a great time, and it was just such a good, fun moment. We were there for a few hours. Then we left. We headed out. We went back to the Airbnb, just reset a little bit, took some showers, and kind of got ourselves up and moving, and we left again. And then by that point we were like, okay, we're not coming back. We're leaving the rest of the day, right? So we left. We started by eating lunch. We went to the Rainforest Cafe. It was good. I liked the scenery, but the food actually just, quietly wasn't actually like all that spectacular. Like it wasn't bad. It was just kind of basic considering like, how expensive it was. But like the scenery, like the whole like vibe of it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. The food, okay, yeah. Leaves a little to be desired. Then we went to the arcade. The arcade was super fun, obviously, like the Great Canadian Midway. We won a basketball, which actually is like it's a cool thing. It's a basketball that has the logo on it. It's kind of a scam because we didn't get that many points, but when we combined all of our points, we had enough for the basketball and a little bit more. But it was the experience, and we had a fun time. There was a Deal or No Deal game on in the arcade that these guys just got addicted to. Basically, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to the gambling addiction later. but yes, so we just kind of spent a lot of time on that, but we spent a lot of time just going through a bunch of other different games, and we had a great time. And then we walked all the way to the fan zone because the World Cup obviously is going on, right? The fan zone, we was like with Brazil versus Morocco. The game actually kind of sucked. Like I like that it's super cool that you have this that they've made these areas all around Canada and America, and even really all around the world, where you can go and you can watch the games in a group setting outdoors. I really enjoy it. I really think that that's a great idea, but the game sucked, and it's unfortunate. It was a very bland game. We kind of got there as Vinny Jr. was scoring to make it 1-1, and we got there as they were kind of celebrating it, and then we were just kind of standing there. We had a pretty good angle. We had a pretty good spot, and like the rest of the game was just kind of bland. So it was unfortunate, but yes, it was still good, still solid. So then, like obviously by this point, our feet are killing us. Me and a couple of them were just like really like ooh, like like really complaining, right, because of our feet being just dead because of all the walking we've done so far, and we were only just getting started. So then we got some ice cream. We chilled for a little bit, and then we decided we did some mini golf. That was also pretty fun. Where like we saw like some guys just messing up shots, hitting it out to the other hole. like it was it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to see. It was a good experience as well. Good fun little thing as well that we did. And then when we were done that, what did we do when we were done that? I think by that point, because the game was at 6, right? Yeah, because we left, it was like 4 o'clock. So by the time we ate, went to the arcade, watched the game, came back, did some mini golf, it was already close to 9 o'clock. So yeah, by that point we decided to go to the casino. We went to the casino. That was kind of the idea. We went to the casino. I brought some money. I don't usually gamble, but I brought some money just to have a good time and to put it down and and just do it. We went to the first casino. It actually wasn't really that big. One of the dealers was like, my friend asked the dealer, he was like, yeah, actually go to the other one. The other one's way better. There's more stuff, which is like kind of weird because it's like, why are you like promoting the other casino? But we did that, and we Ubered to the other casino, which was on like the whole other side, and and yeah, we kind of got started. We found our place. We found a good blackjack table, and we just kind of started to go. And I was kind of like learning the rules of how you do it on the job. I kind of got scammed a little bit because by the book, it's so dumb. It's like by the book, you're not supposed to hit in this certain situation. But if I had hit, I would have gotten a 7 to give me 20, and I would have won the hand. But instead, I didn't hit because it's by the book, and we ended up and the dealer ended up getting a good hit, and I lost my money. Right, I lost my money pretty quickly. I bet $100. I wasn't gonna bet any more than that, and I lost it very quickly. My friend bet 200, lost it pretty quickly, and then my other friend bet 300, and he lost it, but then slowly gained it back, where he was only like maybe 50 down by the end of it, and at that point, like after like maybe a little bit more than an hour, maybe we were there for actually like a couple hours. By the end of it, we were like, okay, yeah, yeah, let's just call it here. Let's go, just get our money and leave. So we lost money, but it was a good experience. The casino, that's kind of what it would do to you, basically. Like it's a casino, right? That's kind of the idea. Like it was an unbelievably bad run where like the dealer just got 21 multiple times in a row, and we just lost all of our stuff. And like my friend made a couple of like bold risky plays that actually ended up paying off, which was why he was able to make a little bit of the money we had already lost back. But it wasn't enough. We were still all kind of down. But that was kind of like the beginning of like, oh, like these guys have like a gambling problem, dude. Like I was like, okay, I'm done. 100, I put it in, I lost it pretty quickly. I'm done. I'm watching. He made a little bit, so I was able, like, he was generous, gave me a chip. I went back in, couldn't really make anything happen with it. So like by the end of it all, we kind of left. But like from that point onward, for the rest of the trip, like all these guys were thinking of was just like gambling. That's all they were thinking about. So we got to the Airbnb. We made it back. It was like again like 1:30 ish, 2 in the morning. Actually, no, it was actually like 1:15 actually, and we ordered Uber Eats and we waited for the Uber Eats. It took a while. It only got here for 2 in the morning, and it sucked. Like I'm not even gonna talk. Like it was pretty horrible. The food that I got. I'm not gonna lie, but then we played poker in the Airbnb because one of my friends brought some poker chips, and we just kept playing again because of how much it was. First of all, it was super fun. Like it's great because you're not spending real money on it. It's just good time with friends, and it was great fun. But we just kept going, and we would have kept going because these guys just don't know how to stop because they're so addicted to the gambling aspect of it. Again, they were taking edibles. The other guys were high, and me and the other dude, we were just not, like, me and Andrew were just like not gonna be doing that. And but still, we had a good time. But from basically 2 till like 4:30, it was like a 2.5 3 hour poker session. Basically, we were just playing, gambling, having fun, lots of laughs, lots of good times. It was honestly such a great moment. It was honestly probably like the highlight of the whole thing was just us spending time, and again being in bed super late, like again closer to 5 in the morning this time. Again, we wake up the next day at 9 because we got to be out of the Airbnb at 11. So we then do exactly that. We get up, we go again, very little sleep. We pack our things, we make breakfast, have a great breakfast fit for kings, grab our stuff, pack, get ready to go, and then at 11 o'clock ish, we're leaving the place. Again, it was a quick trip, right? It was like it would have been real nice to have it go for longer, but it's like still, it was still good, still fun, but of course, like it flew by really. But we left and we decided, hey, we're just gonna stay. We're actually gonna stay there for a little bit. We were originally gonna leave, and we were like, okay, we'll just stay in the area a little bit. So we did some bowling. The bowling was pretty cool. We parked, we did bowling, and I was like, and I actually used to suck at bowling, but then my friend taught me like the proper technique to bowl the ball, and then I ended up like beating everyone, which that was pretty funny. That was like you go from like being like terrible to then actually just winning the whole thing. Like Zolt, he was like first like few runs, he got like like a strike and two spares, and I was like, what the hell? Like he was just bowling perfectly in the beginning, and it was like ugh. And I ended up in the second game beating him because he taught me how to do it properly. It's just funny how like the student became the teacher, outmastered the teacher basically, and that's kind of what happened really. And then basically from there we went to the Hard Rock Cafe because that was something that Miguel really wanted to do. You know who these guys are if you watched the podcast we did yesterday. You'll know who these three guys were: Zolt, Miguel, and Andrew, three great friends of mine. It watched the podcast that we did yesterday. It was very good, and and then we went to the Hard Rock. But in the end, like I just got like a basic thing. People like the other guys didn't really get anything big either because they were just not. They weren't really that hungry, and the prices were pretty big. So we were just kind of there for the experience. Really, it was chill. It was fun. It was all right, but it was like it wasn't as much as perhaps we were expecting. I'll be honest. And I think like maybe a good rule of thumb is if you're going to a restaurant that has like cafe in the name of like a popular restaurant, it's probably going to be very expensive. It's probably going to be more expensive than the food actually is worth. So maybe you should be a little bit more careful about it. Like the Boston pizza really was like the best food we ate, which was so funny how that's the case. But but that's just the truth. That's just the truth. And I think they would definitely agree with that. So then from there, it actually started pouring rain. So we went into like this little shop, took bathroom break, got a couple things before we were gonna head out. Waited for the rain to stop a little bit. Then we kind of hightailed it over to the car. We were leaving. It was about what 1 p.m. maybe around that time, and it was pouring rain. Like the drive over was so amazing, super good, like super calm, like an hour, like sunny, good vibes. The drive back was in the beginning, at least it ended up being okay, but in the beginning it was freaking terrible. I had to lock in because I was the driver, right? I was the guy driving. We went in my car, right? So I had to lock in, right, as I was merging onto the highway in the pouring rain, the absolute downpour that we were dealing with. Like it was so bad that like after 10 minutes I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get off and wait in a parking lot a little bit. Like I wanted to find a gas station, didn't really find it, so we waited in like a parking lot for like maybe 5-10 minutes. The rain actually calmed down a little bit, so I went back out on the road. It kind of picked up a little bit after, but then finally after a little while it calmed down. And then the drive ended up being like again good vibes, music, good conversations, fun stuff, and then dropped them off at their houses, and I went home, and that was the trip. That was the Niagara trip, and it was a great time. It was a great couple of days I spent with the guys, and I think they would all agree. Like maybe where we could have done better was I would have loved to have more people there, but obviously you can't do anything about it if the friend group is just kind of like that. You can't do anything about it. So us four, we had a great time, just us four. And I'd say like if it was maybe a day or two longer, it would have also been much better as well. But of course, like it's just like it is what it is, right? still, we had an amazing time regardless. And maybe the one thing I'd say was probably the food. Like, we probably could have had better food. We maybe could have had stuff at home rather than always go out to eat stuff. And then we went out to eat, and if you go out to eat and the food's not really good, or if it's too expensive, it's like you kind of lose a lot of it, right? You lose a lot of, like, oh, you want to go and you want to have good food. Like, the Boston pizza was the best food we ate, and that's kind of like, it's kind of sad that that's the case, really. And we went to, like, it's not like we went to like a bunch of garbage places. We went to places that were like famous, and they were like notoriously like good reputation type of place. And we went there and we were like, oh, like that was kind of like overrated, really. So perhaps we could have done better on the food side. We could have maybe eaten, like instead of having Uber Eats, which was like horrible, we could have had food already ready to prepare to have a dinner, even if it was a late dinner, that we could actually eat. It was good food rather than just like ordering something terrible, right? So improvements, if we go on a trip again in the future, we're planning on trying to do something else with the friend group, with the guys. But this trip was amazing. It was a great time. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you enjoyed me sharing the funny stories, the interesting things, the things that we went through, things that we did on this trip, and and I hope that you enjoy the episode we made yesterday. Go watch it. Go watch it if you haven't yet. It was such a good time. So that was our trip. We did a little trip. We managed to get a trip to make it out of the group chat. The small thing. Niagara's not that far away from Toronto, and that's the truth. It was an hour to get there. It took a little longer to get back because there was a bit of traffic and the rain and all that stuff. But to get there, it took like an hour. It's not that far away. So we went. We had an amazing time. Everyone would agree that it was just a great time. Again, in bed super late, not really having a lot of sleep, but it's worth it because of all of the fun things and activities that we did do during our trip over there. So if we can do something else in the future, maybe that ends up being a little bit longer, that ends up not kind of making the same mistakes that we made, and we improve, make it as good, even an even better trip as this one was, even better trip than this one. Then that's kind of a good thing. That's kind of the goal, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. So I hope you enjoyed the stories and you enjoyed the me talking about the things that we went through and the trip that we did. We managed to make it happen, and we went to Niagara, and it was a great, fun time. And hopefully, if we do trips in the future, you'll kind of be the beneficiary, you the audience, because you'll get probably more group podcasts, more like vacation type of vibes thing, more things like that like are just good stuff and entertaining content. And of course, me kind of talking about it, being entertaining, talking about funny stories that happened. Like another thing that happened again after the casino, like these guys, we were in the Hard Rock Cafe and they were literally gambling on their phones because we were playing poker on the phone because like they just couldn't get it out of their minds. They just had to satisfy the urge. So they have a problem. Like, they have a serious gambling problem, and it's like we gotta we gotta like we gotta help. I gotta help them out a little bit on that front because it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. I put the money down. I gambled because I was like, you know what, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do it. You have a set amount of money and you're gonna use it. But but yeah, like they just on another level. That's the truth. So it was a fun trip. It was a good times. They definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely enjoyed it. So it's just me here in this episode talking about the things that we went through, right? The things that we did that truly made the trip something absolutely wonderful. So I hope that you can experience something like that as well in your life, spending time with your friends, going out there, making these trips happen. Because really, it's like that traveling, the going and experience new things that makes life just that much more fulfilling, that much more fruitful and enjoyable. And that's kind of why we're here, right? To enjoy our time as much as possible, right? Of course, we worked hard, right? All of us, we worked hard to have this money so that we could pool it together and make and have a great trip. And we ended up doing exactly that. So hopefully we can do one or two more in this summer and beyond that. That's kind of my idea. So thank you for watching this episode. I'm done kind of talking about the trip. It was a really good trip. I'm just here reflecting on the things, having this as like a little time capsule to look back on as well. Me thinking about like times past, about how fun this trip really was. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. As I said many times already, go watch the group podcast we did, and I uploaded it yesterday. It was a very, very good one with a lot of funny moments, a lot of laughs, just good fun vibes, chill vibes, interesting things, controversies, all of it. All of it is included in in that group podcast. So go watch it. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you enjoy that one as well. Thank you for watching this episode of the 365 Podcast. Show your support in any way that you can by leaving a like, following the show on Spotify, subscribing to the show on YouTube. If you haven't done that yet, please, I would appreciate anything you can do to show your support on the show each and every day. I'm making a podcast every day for a whole year. So we're going to keep going. We're almost at the halfway point. I hope that you enjoy it and you enjoy the episodes that are to come in the future. Hopefully I can make more podcasts kind of like the one we did yesterday, or just have special guests on the show more and more consistently. We're going to try. I'm not going to promise anything, but I'm going to try my best to make it happen in as good of a way as possible. So thank you for watching this episode. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing your support on this show. And I'm going to be wrapping it up now. I will sign it all off in the way I always do. Continue to glorify God every day throughout your life. As always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode.